I wanted to start off by asking if you recall your earliest memory of music.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's good. Music just in general, including the band.
Music in general.
Probably violin lessons.
Uh,
Mine would probably be seeing my dad play when I was like a wee kid. Just watching
right.
his band.
Yeah, probably like the first CD I got. It was like Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny.
Classic.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the first. Yeah, that was the first.
And I've got quite a good one as well. I bought Let It Be on vinyl. That was a good memory as well.
Any for you, Nick?
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know, just
It was just ambiently music was always there.
Music in the background, but in general.
Not much then. Not much, yeah.
And I know the way that you kind of started off was by performing in open mics, around Edinburgh.
Yeah.
What sort of music were you playing at that time? What sort of songs were you?
It was definitely
Very indie kind of stuff.
Yeah.
it's more just your standard.
4-chord indie.
Yeah, it wasn't very interesting. I know
There's a few interesting parts.
Yeah, we went through like our tagged like posts on Instagram and like saw them from like the Costa open mic nights that we used to do when it was just the three of us.
Yeah, that was before we even had a drummer.
That was before we had a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just seeing like our sound develop from then. It was, I don't even know what sort of music you'd call it, to be honest.
It was just three of us sitting in a bedroom.
Yeah, just playing 4 chords and singing about
messing about over the top, seeing what happens.
Yeah, just singing about like
random
just
stuff.
Yeah, just nothing, just
and then we
girls, nothing interesting. It still is like that, but it's still not interesting. But yeah.
Were the ideas of forming a band like already formulating in your mind at that time? Was that already kind of a goal that you had?
What happened? No, it was me and you in physics, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was me and Ryan in physics one day chatting about music.
Yeah.
And Ryan started playing bass around that time. So this was 4th year, I think. And he
Third.
Yeah.
I picked up bass in like end of 2nd year.
Yeah, and then he asked if he wanted to play music, and I was like, sure, why not? Because none of us had really done anything like that. And then we got Nicholas involved as well.
Yeah, so 3 of us just jammed it out in Oscar's room and made some noise. Yeah. And then later on, Bonnie, who was our ex-drummer, came along at one of the open mic nights, and we hadn't like really spoken to her that much during high school, but she came back and we didn't have a drummer, and she noticed that, and then she hit us up. And then
which actually caught us all by surprise, because at first we thought she didn't like what we were doing.
Yeah, exactly, because we saw her pull a few faces. She didn't mean anything by it.
She clearly must have liked something.
Yeah, she did like it. Hard one to read.
Yeah.
Zach. And then Zach comes along.
Yeah.
Just for because Bonnie got into RNCM down in Manchester. That's a nice name. So it was for a King Tut's show, which was summer nights.
I was living in Bonnie's brother's cupboard at the time.
Yeah, so it was like a little.
And then you guys hit up Joe, and then Joe told me, and I was like, yeah, I want to play King Tut's. That sounds like fun. So.
Yeah, and then just from there we asked him after if he wanted to be, because Bonnie couldn't actually do it because she wasn't 18.
But
it was an 18+ gig.
Without her, that we wouldn't
Bonnie
know
wouldn't be where we were.
I'll probably still be playing for another year, let's be honest.
Yeah.
What sort of qualities did you see in each other that you thought would be like a good person to be in a band with?
Oh, I noticed Rowan's really organised and like paranoid organised. Like he overthinks things to the point that you don't even realise that's something you missed, and then it actually looks after it. Which is really good.
If you start a big one, just chasing people up. It's definitely one of the least enjoyable things about being in band is chasing tickets up.
And just trying to get the money.
Getting people, getting them money.
Does that organisation translate to the music as well? Are you quite pernickety and?
I'd say so. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's overtly like you're.
No, it's mainly between me and Ryan. Cam was just pissing each other off.
And then we just come up with something. Yeah. So me and Oscar generally write something together. Now we sort of just bring it to the band. So I guess. Yeah, I don't even know. We don't even do it anymore because obviously we live in different cities now. So Oscar's in Edinburgh, I'm in Glasgow.
So now it's mainly just us writing something and sending it over.
Do it ourselves. We send over recordings and sort of just expand on that. And then when we actually do come together, whenever that happens. But yeah, we just sort of work on it. But it doesn't take too long. It's when we do come together, things come together like quite quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too forced.
Everybody knows what to do, kind of.
Yeah,
So
for
one person
sure.
comes with an idea, everyone just builds off of it quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recall the first song you wrote together?
Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
What was it?
Was it the one you had a demo of?
It was the one where Nicholas played like the 4 chords that everybody knew.
Oh, was it stopping lines?
No, it was way before that. It was.
Oh.
You
Was
probably
it
erased
called?
it from your memory.
No, I do remember it. But the first, no, the
Yeah.
first actual song that we like released a demo of was like called "On the Run," and it's really bad. And
It had its moments.
yeah,
You have improved.
it was quite like the crowd pleaser when you had like those high school gigs, and
Everybody loved it.
it was just
though,
like a
let's
wee
be
nice
honest.
4-chord song that was like it was actually 180 BPM. Like it was so fast. Like I can't, you know. But yeah, it was just like a jangly indie song
Yeah.
that had really cliche lyrics like rhyming "run" with "sun" and "fun." Like it was nothing spectacular. But
it was-
yeah.
It worked. Fast paced, everyone liked
And
it.
I like ripped the bass line off, like moving to New York by the Wombats, and like, because it was like at the time when you're that age, like, you listen to that sort of thing, and it just happened. Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, we don't actually play that anymore.
That got cut a long time ago.
Yeah,
Are there any qualities from it though that like kind of continue in the work that you do today and the music that you create now?
Sort of. I don't know, the structure, I guess, like the song structure is quite.
structure is, yeah.
Like, we've used that structure a lot.
What, like verse, chorus,
Yeah,
build?
bridge,
Chorus.
chorus, possible solo, yeah, so
It's
that's about it.
fine,
But
every song's like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about other qualities. I guess like really knowing like what sort of roles we play.
yeah, true, where
And the
everyone
band.
sits in the song.
So yeah, so Nick's sort of like seasoning, I would say.
The man thing over the top.
Yeah, so
But that's
like,
a nice thing though, because
Yeah.
we bring something along, they always add something nice
so we
to
sort
it.
of make the meal and
Yeah,
Nick just
exactly.
puts like
Yeah.
But he
some
puts on like,
seasoning on it.
he puts on the things that make the song.
yeah, they're little things, but they really make something.
Yeah, without it, it would kind of sound empty.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
we found out.
We've had
before.
like practices where
Nick
like, Nick's
couldn't
not
make
there,
it,
and it's like-
unfortunately.
yeah.
And then we play there, and then we realise how empty everything
Yeah.
sounds.
So I guess that yeah,
It just
it's
usually
alright,
sounds
man.
very dead without it. So it all comes together really nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
In
so.
terms of what like influences you as well, how much of what influences you do you feel is subconscious, and how much do you feel you can kind of consciously acknowledge it? And see?
Oh yeah,
I think a lot of
subconscious.
it, lots of it's subconscious because I can't
Definitely.
really think of anything.
Yeah, we've discussed that
specific.
before. Like when people ask about our influences, and we're like, yeah, it's definitely just we listen to a lot of different music.
Yeah, we all listen to
Yeah.
very different
Yeah.
genres.
Like
Yeah.
I'd say like the band t-shirt you're wearing now, Dive, they've kind of got a bit of an influence.
yeah, dive and
Probably more recently.
and slow dive.
Big fan of
So the
divey bands.
shoegaze stuff's kind of been taking over recently.
Yeah,
In
definitely.
the sound,
In
like
terms of that,
and some of
but,
the
yeah.
punk kind of influence from Glasgow maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
you
weird
can't escape.
combo.
You can't escape like
Yeah.
Glasgow punk. So yeah,
I mean, you mentioned Dive there. That's a band that I can really hear coming across, like in the guitar tones and stuff like that.
yeah.
How, when you like try to come up with a guitar tone, what are you looking for? Is it got to like emotionally satisfy you, or what kind of gets you to a point where you're happy with it?
It's usually something that satisfies me personally because when I make a guitar line or
You're
like I
definitely
write
a
something,
tone.
I really,
freak.
yeah, I do like my tones, like the sound, the way I want them in my head. So I usually have something in my head, like a sound I've heard from like another guitar subconsciously maybe, or just something, like I've listened to a song and I like the sound of that. So I'll try recreating it, but a lot of it's just in my head there already. So then putting it down in real life.
I think something that's quite consistent is sort of the sort of the
The Hoovery shoegaze noise.
yeah, you know, like sort of definitely. There's always like a hint of like chorus in it.
Yeah, there's always chorus, like in every single song we played, I think there's a chorus pedal turned on
yeah,
at
definitely
least
at some
once.
point. So I
Yeah.
guess that's sort of helped it
And
sound quite
reverb
good.
is, especially on Nicholas's side.
There's a lot of reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not to the point where it's like
Drowning in
way
it.
too overwhelming,
Yeah.
but yeah, a nice touch to it. I'd
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Yeah.
With the new song you have coming out as well, how did the production process for that one differ? And if so, what did you learn from it, Jane?
That
Like,
was
in terms of
painful.
songwriting as well, like and how we wrote the song.
And record, well, so
Oh yeah.
the
so,
recording was a pain because we went through lots of different
Yeah, don't mind.
tries, but we're not going to go into too much detail.
Yeah.
But the actual songwriting process itself came from me in my bedroom. I wrote some.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
We wrote like me and Oscar wrote this song, and it was pretty different.
Yeah.
And it was a bit more. It sounded a bit more like sort of bands like Spin or something.
It was very indie
It
sounding.
was a lot more. It was sort of going back more to our. We started off with our debut release, Don't Mind It. It was a lot more, just
Jangly indie,
jangly
yeah.
indie guitar band. It's like sounded a bit more like Spin and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah.
And then this song, I ended up rewriting the whole thing 4 times in total.
Yeah. And then I did a wee bit as well.
Yeah. So I think I wrote like the chunk of the song at home by myself. The round came round one day,
And I just
threw in a bass line.
yeah. And I think after I moved to Glasgow, I gained a new perspective on life, and wrote some lyrics over it. That's sort of just about
So, yeah.
life.
So that was the writing process behind that. There's a lot of trying.
Yeah, it was good.
Trial and error.
We recorded it twice
Yeah.
to get it right, but I think now we're happy with it.
Yeah.
Because initially, the ending, the last, it's like 40 seconds to the song. Initially,
But that wasn't in the first recording,
it wasn't
was
in
it?
the
Yeah.
first recording we did, because I think we just rushed into it initially too much. So I think it's definitely
Yeah.
you want to get that sort of fine line between.
Yeah, I think we had to play it once or twice live, and then we were
Yeah.
like, oh, we should chop that bit at the end in the
No,
actual
it
recording.
was more than once or
And then
twice
we-
the first time.
And then we tried to convince ourselves that, oh, it's fine, that's just a live thing, that wouldn't be cool in the actual recording. But then after a while we were like,
we realised it was
No, we need
missing.
yeah, it
felt-
was missing, it was
Yeah.
too short. So yeah, it was initially like a 2-minute 30, like just quick
Yeah.
Quick bop.
rock song. But yeah, I think I like where it's at now.
Yeah, I'm really happy the way it turned out. It's probably
Yeah.
one of my favourite songs we've got
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I'd say as well.
Yeah.
The song that came out prior as well, Hype Insomnia, I really like the beginning of that with the lyrics where you're almost like telling a story.
Yeah.
How is everything you write from your perspective, or do you ever go from someone else?
No, it's not from my perspective.
from someone else's perspective.
Normally it's from mine, but for hypersomnia, I think what I do is if I'm struggling to find like themes in that, I'll go through a dictionary, and I'll just like come across some random word, and then I feel like if you take like one word, you can sort of like build upon that with sort of connotations of that. So I think I find like hypersomnia, so that's like when you have like excessive sleepiness basically during the day. So I sort of like did some research into what it's like to have that. And yeah, I sort of just wrote it from somebody's perspective that had hypersomnia.
We also ended up writing some of it at the pub, the three of us,
Yeah,
at one
it is.
point.
Yeah.
Before practice.
I remember it's before practice and I barely had any lyrics down. So
Yeah.
we just went to the pub before and got a few lyrics down.
Yeah.
And that's like the first time that you've sort of been
In the lyric. portion.
involved with the...
I wasn't
you
there.
weren't there at that
It was
point.
Yeah.
Nicholas
I
added
guess
a
when you
few,
still had Bonnie, right?
was-
Nicholas added quite a few lines into the pre-chorus section, if you will.
Yeah.
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 But then the actual lyric process was finished on the day of recording. We walked into the studio.
Yeah, it was on...
Decided to record it after practicing it twice.
It was on the bus to Mark's, and I hadn't written verse 2. Yeah, and
You
I was
literally
just I was
finished
bashing
writing
it
it
out.
5
I was
minutes
still
before,
still writing it in the studio. I guess it's one of those things where it's that fine line between like you don't want it to be too forced. Like you don't want to spend so much time with songwriting that at the end start overthinking things and it becomes like too noisy and there's too much going on. But I think it worked in that sense that it was just like under a lot of pressure and it was nice and fresh. But yeah.
Yeah, because we wrote it, I can't remember, I think it was, we had a recording session booked with Mark, and roughly a week or two before that, we wrote that song, practiced it twice with Bonnie, and then we walked into the studio and just did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Got it out, which I think is why it sounded quite different as well, and the way it worked, because it's just something that was fresh, new, and hadn't been changed, and I don't know, it was a nice process, and it turned out really well.
It's probably one of the best songwriting processes we've had.
Yeah,
I'd say.
definitely.
Yeah, it was a nice process.
Do you think pressure has a good effect on the band overall?
Sometimes it's like a bust over here.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think the main pressure of being in a band is tickets. Yeah, it's shifting tickets, definitely. Yeah, like literally, I go through phases of Like I always talk to Oscar and that, but then when we've got a gig coming up, the only thing I'll
Yeah,
say
like
to him
at least
is,
once every 3 days, you're like, guys, how are we doing for ticket sales? Like, what are we
Yeah.
up to? We really need to push
I
that.
don't think I've, yeah. Like on the run up, run up to like some gigs, like the only thing I will text Oscar is tickets.
Have you sold tickets? And
Have
my
you
answer is
sold tickets?
usually, yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, working on it. Yeah.
Or like, I've got some lined up.
Lined up, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm bad for that.
What are you most afraid of in relation to Cameo Habitat?
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe like stagnation, if we like did nothing for
Yeah.
like 2 years or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably the big problem because since all of us are living in 3 different cities now,
Yeah.
it makes stuff quite difficult because Nicholas is commuting from Dundee.
Definitely has its benefits, though.
Yeah. true.
It
as
does.
well.
Yeah,
Because
like if
when
we
we're
ever
together,
play,
we're really focused, but
Mhm.
then it's just long periods of nothing happening because we're so spread out.
Yeah, but I definitely feel like with Rory coming into managing us, so
Yeah.
it brings everything together a bit more.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
before we were a lot more stagnant. That's right. Yeah.
We were also like prone to just like doing any show we got asked as well, and then doing
True.
just like
We're kind of scattered all over the place.
Definitely a lot more. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, biggest fear, I guess it's just,
fanning about too much.
yeah, yeah, just not getting it done. I guess being overwhelmed by like uni, college,
Yeah,
and
just
that.
life in general.
Yeah, and just sort of, yeah. I think we're in a nice place
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.